Hi, I'm Jackie Nardiello, Senior Marketing Manager at iCar. I work behind the scenes with several talented people to produce iCar's Collision Reporter magazine. We're a covert team that works in the background of each issue. We do things like conduct research to identify the most important industry topics, source subject matter experts for each of those topics, as well as doing things like writing, editing, designing, and laying out each issue. You may not know us by face or name, but our goal is to make sure we provide the industry with the best information from the right people to help navigate the rapid changes happening around us. If you haven't had a chance to read this quarter's issue that just launched, the ADAS issue, we wanted to give you a little snapshot of what's inside. We were lucky enough to snag some time today from John McElroy, well known in the auto industry and host of Autoline This Week. He played a major role in this issue's roundtable and is here with us today to talk a little more about ADAS. Welcome, John. Thanks for joining.
Hi, Jackie. Thanks for having me today.
Sure. So before we get into how John's contributions helped us bring this issue's roundtable to life, let me highlight some other great articles in the issue. We didn't name it the ADAS issue for nothing. It's a hot topic in the industry, and we found some very smart and talented people to shed some light on it. We have a guest editorial by Susanna Gotch from CCC Information Services on what ADAS and growth means to the what ADAS growth means to the repair experience, as well as some of the latest findings from her Crash Course 2020 research. Mike Muller from Bosch Automotive shares some of the newest technology being developed right now. And of course, this issue's Driving the Conversation Roundtable, moderated by John, who leads a great Q&A on ADAS technology's impact on the collision repair industry with three key experts: Sean Carey from SCG Management Consultants, Jake Rodenroth from Aztec, and Mike Anderson, founder of Collision Advice. So, John, tell us why you think ADAS is an intriguing topic for the entire auto industry.
Well, for a whole variety of reasons, and I know we'll get into a lot of details, but right off the bat, look, this is advanced driver assistance systems. It's all about safety. Even today, right now, with all the other things that are on cars from a safety standpoint, there's roughly 35,000 Americans killed every single year in motor vehicle accidents. And another number that doesn't get covered very much is more than 2 million people are injured so badly they have to go to the hospital. Imagine if we can come out with the technology that would hopefully one day eliminate that. Imagine the impact of the U.S. healthcare system if we sent 2 million fewer people to the hospital every single year. So it's a very important technology, not just for the auto industry, but for society in general.
Mm-hmm. So to piggyback on that, only 18 months from now, every car made in the US will require at least one form of ADAS technology. What are you seeing from your vantage point in the larger auto industry?
You know, it's real interesting how this has all come about. The auto industry has begged the politicians in Washington, don't burden us with a whole bunch of regulation. Try us out. Let us volunteer to put all the safety equipment on cars, starting with the 2021 model year. And they're starting to do it. In fact, certain automakers, notably Toyota, Honda, Subaru, have been very aggressive about it. They've rolled that out almost already on most of their models and will be ahead of the rest of the industry in getting there. But the good news is the rest of the industry is getting there. And this is the first time I can ever think of, when it comes to safety technology especially, that the industry has volunteered to do this and has not, at least so far, needed regulation to force it to do that. And as you said, you know, about another year and a half from now, every new vehicle rolling off the line is going to have this technology.
Mm-hmm. So then how do you think we should bridge the gap to help the general public understand the importance of training on the repair process for ADAS-equipped cars?
Well, one thing that we could start with is coming out with common terminology, and there's work being done on this. Right now, all the different automakers, they want to brand this stuff. They really want to show their customers that they've got the latest and greatest safety technology, but they all have different names for it. And so as consumers go out and shop for cars, they're coming across all these different kinds of names that's really causing a whole lot of confusion. I imagine the same thing is happening in the automotive repair industry as well. You have all this different terminology, and if you're an independent shop like iCars works with, you're getting all kinds of different terminology coming from the automakers. So rule number one is let's commonize the terminology so everybody knows what they're talking about. And then we've got to directly answer your question. We've got to keep doing the kind of things that iCar is doing so that independent repair shops and dealerships too know how to properly repair these technologies after an accident. Make sure that they're aimed proper, that they're calibrated in the right way. Because the last thing that you want to do is have a consumer who thinks they're pretty safe with all this technology, but it hasn't been repaired correctly. And that could leave them in more danger than if they didn't have the stuff in the first place.
Sure, sure. It's interesting that you bring up the terminology standpoint, because we do have an article in the issue that talks about navigating the alphabet soup of ADAS, because there are so many terms out there, and there's no standardization among them right now. So I have one last question for you, and I'm dying to know the answer to it. What is your personal favorite ADAS feature right now?
You know, I would have to say the one that I'm the most impressed with, and there's been teething problems with it too, is what they call automated emergency braking with pedestrian detection. It's been out for several years right now. Some of the earlier versions have what we call false positives. You know, the car would slam on the brakes automatically because it had perceived some sort of a danger. It might be you going past a bridge abutment or a car in the center lane that was turning left, but the car would perceive that as something blocking the way and slam on the brakes. I haven't encountered that and I test drive a lot of cars. I test drive almost 100 cars a year. I haven't encountered that in a couple of years. So I would say what's great about automated emergency braking, we know there's so much driver distraction these days. So if somebody takes their eyes off the road, and all the scientific evidence shows this, if you take your eyes off the road for more than 3 seconds, you can be involved in a horrible accident. AEB, as they call it, automated emergency braking, make sure that if you're distracted, you're tired for whatever reason, if there's going to be an accident, the car will slam on the brakes. Now you add another aspect onto that, including pedestrian detection. So human beings, we're carbon and water. We're not made out of metal. It takes very sophisticated technology for these systems to recognize, oh, that's a human being, and I better put on the brakes right now so I don't hurt them. I think that technology is going to directly lead to many fewer accidents and fatalities and injuries. So I guess I would say that's my favorite one.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think that's a good favorite one to have. So I want to thank you, John. It was really, truly an honor to have you participate in the issue of Collision Reporter. And I want to thank all of our magazine contributors, as well as our readers. We couldn't do this without you. In fact, if you have any topic ideas or feedback you'd like to send our way, send an email to marketing@i-car.com. Otherwise, I have 2 humble requests for those listening right now. Number 1, check out i-car.com/collision reporter/ADAS for these and other stories like navigating the alphabet soup of ADAS. And number 2, visit autoline.tv to check out all the great things John McElroy and his team are working on right now. John, I really want to thank you for your time today. It's been a pleasure working with you behind the scenes and in front of the camera.
Jackie, thanks for having me on. It's a great topic, and I'm glad I got to share some of the things I know about it.
Good, good. And thanks to all of you for listening today. We'll see you next time.